Apparently, we're live. Although people have told me in the past that when they're watching the live stream, it sometimes cuts in 20 or 30 seconds after I start talking. But from my memory, when I've watched the videos back, I don't, I should stress, I don't watch the whole videos back because that would be crazy. I suppose I could justify it occasionally if I wanted to look at what worked and what didn't and what I could maybe work on. But sometimes I have watched the start of the videos on either Facebook or YouTube, and it started when I started. So maybe that's just a weird thing that happens if you're watching live. There's some weird lag with it coming on, but that's as may be. We're alive ho on, what is it, Tuesday? No, it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. Been pretty bleak old weather in Melbourne town. Hello, Megaleech, by the way. We went from having really warm days ranging from like about 29 in Melbourne, I think way into the 30s in some of the country areas. And then some areas saw snow the next day. It like changed so suddenly. And it's very, very much like, there was like mild winter weather, not brutal winter weather, but it's possibly the last gasp of that sort of weather. Us being, end of the first week in October. We should be past that. So we'll be missing days like that in a couple of months when we just get really friggin' hot weather and there's probably out of control bushfires again. Be missing cold and rainy weather. But that's the world we live in now. Shit happening all the time. Far too much of it. Far too quickly. One thing on top of the other. And we've just got to find a way to deal with it, really, because shit just keeps on happening. Fox of Fate, you have indeed arrived. Welcome. Megaleech, is Tasmanian weather a bit more consistent? I know it gets considerably colder in Tasmania than it does in Melbourne, and you don't even have to be in the high country for it to be colder. But yes. Abigail, here's a quote. "Take off your hat, said the king to the hatter. It isn't mine, said the hatter. Stolen, the king shouted. I keep them to sell, the hatter explained. I've none of my own. I'm a hatter. I think I've gone mad. What's this? I think the hatter saying to Alice, it goes something along the lines of, I think I've gone mad. He goes, well, so have I. But everyone does. All the best people are mad. But yes, for anyone who doesn't get it, when I named this stream Mad Hatter Day, classically the Mad Hatter in Alice in Wonderland has a little tag in his hat that says, in this style, 10 and 6, which means the hat's for sale for 10 shillings and sixpence. And so 10/6, and the way the Americans do the calendar is the 6th day of October. So a lot of people in North America, well, actually, I think it's just the USA. I don't think Canada does that dumb thing, do they? Have to wait and see. I don't know if any Canadians are going to join the stream tonight. But yes, the American thing of calling October 6, 10/6. So therefore, 10/6, Mad Hatter Day, because Mad Hat has 10/6 on his hat. Simple, really? I kind of made that explanation a bit more involved than it needed to be, I think. But I also think, it's fitting for what we do on this live stream. We do anything and everything, very few boundaries. And see, I think I don't know because I've never actually read Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland, and my goddamn stove just started buzzing. which annoys the shite out of me. So I'm just going to go over there and I'm going to switch it off. Hit the button so it stops buzzing, because the buzz pisses me off. Yikes. I'm just running out stuff for the dishwasher while I'm over here. Damn, sorry. I just got to, while I think of it, rinse a bit of residue out of this bottle. Alright. Alright. Channeling some McConaughey. Alright. Yes. So what they're doing in at least in the Disney Alice in Wonderland, they sing a song about they're celebrating an unbirthday, because you only get one birthday a year, but that means every other day is your unbirthday, which is something to celebrate, because they're always just looking for a reason to have a party. And I think we like to celebrate, have parties. Might be someone's actual birthday today, who knows? But if it's not, it's everyone's unbirthday. So, yeah. Und so, we continue on our merry way. I was thinking a little bit later, I'm going to taste test some gins that were delivered today. The Tiny Bear Distillery's Christmas gins with their neat little mascots. Cat Eater, you're from Canada. I am pleased to hear that. Perhaps you can fill me in with dates. Would you say today is 10/6 like they say in USA, or would you say 6/10 as we would in Australia and England? Raiders, good evening to you. So yes, I was wondering if that was like a whole North American thing, or if it was just the United States doing the dates this way, which is why today is Mad Hatter Day, 10/6. I was going to look some. That's right. So I have these gins, and I'm wondering. I'm just going to taste them straight, but maybe a cocktail. One's ginger. If I look up ginger gin cocktail, Gonga gin, Bombay Sapphire drink, Foghorn. Gin and ginger cocktail with lime and mint. Thought there might be. I just thought there might be. A Foghorn is what? Show the full recipe. Gin, lime, ginger beer. Okay. So they're saying gin and lime. That's interesting. They seem to think gin, ginger, and lime go together. I do have some lime juice I squeezed. Recipe. Yes, show me a recipe. What is this? Ginger, mint leaves, ginger syrup, lime, ginger beer. Yeah, okay. Maybe it'd be like a gimlet if I just make it with, I could put a bit of the citrus oleosaccharum I have as well. Maybe I make it like a gimlet. Year, month, day. Yeah. So, or arguably vice versa. But Americans, like, okay, we in Australia, we call the date 6th to the 10th, 2020. Americans would call it 10/6/2020. You're saying in Canada, you go 2020 10/6. Hellion, hello to you, Kirsten. I hope things are going well in Sydney town for you. Yes, I've already found it somewhat jarring that Americans chose to represent the date and jag it all up, go month, day, year. Ascending or descending order makes sense. Jumping all over the place is strange and annoying. But hey, I used it as a theme, both for my cocktail channel and for this live stream. because I posted the Mad Hatter cocktail that I made on Friday night's live stream. I posted that last night on my cocktail channel. A few people seen that. You should go and check out Angry Cocktails if you haven't already. You know, be a pal, check it out, subscribe, thumbs up, comments, all those good things. Okay, yeah, but you would say 6th of the 10th, not 10-6 is my point, I think. Yes, Abigail. I imagine the ISO standard for dates and databases would be okay, yeah. But yeah, okay, that's descending order, year, month, day. It's just that weird thing Americans do when they go month, day, year is very, very disconcerting. So yes, Kirsten, you watched the video and noticed that I'd been stealing your lines again. So yes, Kirsten, whether she likes it or not, is my ghostwriter. I keep using her lines in videos I make. Yeah, bit cheeky. I have to confess to that, being a bit cheeky with that. But sometimes, you know, you just gotta, when material presents itself, you gotta grab. That's what I do. I grab material. So yes. Abigail, it's because they say a date like October 6th instead of 6th of October, I guess. Yeah, I'm sure that's where it comes from, Abigail. Absolutely. Kirsten, it is because you're hilarious and you come up with bon mots and witty sayings as there's a saying that goes, good artists copy, great artists steal. And my favorite thing about that quote is if you look it up, it will be attributed to multiple different people, which kind of suggests that people stole that quote from another. I'd originally heard it was Pablo Picasso. He said, good artists copy, great artists steal. I think I've seen it attributed to Salvador Dali, Andy Warhol, and some other people who weren't visual artists as well, like probably Frank Sinatra. In fact, if I quickly look it up, good artists steal quote. Pablo Picasso is quoted as saying it. He said great artists steal. Picasso might have been rephrasing Stravinsky. There you go. Yes, it's all over the place. Wow, what's this? One can find passages in T.S. Eliot's work which discusses how theft of other works contributes to the creation of new art. Yes, well, there you go. Gets attributed to different people. Although, yeah, Picasso is the one that comes up the most, but I have seen it attributed to other people. Though it kind of seems like people are settling on Picasso. Interesting. Shannon on Facebook, hello. So it's just one of those things out there in the world. And is anyone else being driven slightly insane by the weird fuckery with Trump and his COVID diagnosis and how sick is he actually? I mean, we'll know for sure in 3 or 4 days. You either actually 3-4 days to a week. If he hasn't gotten worse, he's probably not getting worse. It's just that statistically, given where he's got to now, and his age and weight, etc., he's likely to get very sick. He's depending how you work with the statistics. At this point, without any worsening, you'd say he had a 10 to maybe 20% chance of dying, which is astonishingly high for such an important person. And make no mistake, when I say important, I fucking despise him. But it would also be foolish to say he wasn't very important given his control over the most powerful military and one of the most influential governments in the world. And yes, so 3-4 days to a week. Well, no, if he doesn't get worse, he's probably not going to get worse. Odds are he's going to get much worse and will have to be rehospitalized, even if it's just as a precaution, even if he doesn't have to go into intensive care, even if he doesn't have to go on a ventilator. It's incredibly likely that he'll have to be rehospitalized, at least as a precaution. The idea that he won't get any worse it's absolutely possible. It's just really unlikely. Possibly about the same likelihood of him dying, 10%. 10% chance he doesn't get any worse. Yeah. Because, he's almost definitely going to get really sick. But anyway. Raiders, you reckon the doctors probably wanted to keep him at the hospital because they know he's going to come back? And yeah, Shannon, there's definitely speculation he was out and about and circulating people after he'd received a positive test. Yes. Katie, do you on the Picasso one? Yes. There's a difference between stealing and being inspired. The idea I've always taken that quote, good artists copy, great artists steal, is a bit tongue-in-cheek in as much as is basically saying a great artist can take something that's already been done and do something new with it. Like Shakespeare didn't really write original stories. They were all existing stories that he adapted for the stage. And his brilliance with language made them incredible, even if they weren't original. And so that's what I've always taken the saying to mean. And Carita, you're saying Picasso, you hear he was really sexist. I hear he was a piece of shit. I hear Picasso was fucking awful. Just a fucking awful person. Yes. So I think in modern parlance, Picasso would get cancelled if he was around now. Because I suspect he was actually not just sexist. I suspect he was a rapist. But Raiders, would Trump even make the next 4 years if he was elected? The other thing he stands a high chance of is being really debilitated for a really extended time and having a long recovery process. As a lot of people have found when they've come down with COVID, that you get past the in danger of dying stage, but you're still really sick and really fucked for a really long time. And if Trump was impaired like that, he would find it very difficult to fulfill the office of president. In fact, I would say a possible upside for Trump is if he gets very sick and he just goes like, okay, too sick to contest the election, and he actually steps down, and then Pence is the nominee, who will probably lose. Then Trump gets to carry on his bullshit from the sidelines, say he never lost an election. He would have won the election. He could come back and win an election, and he could do his grift happily forever. It could, if he gets quite sick, it could work out for him. Megalich, you heard numbers: 5% chance of death, 5% severe illness. Based on what I've heard, those numbers are really low. It's much more like a 10% chance of him dying, much more like 30% chance of severe, 30 to 50% chance of severe illness, and roughly the same chance of being sick but recovering, and just a tiny chance of not getting any sicker than he is now. Shannon, while we're talking about historical figures, which historical figure would I love to be able to sit down and have a beer with? Well, a cocktail in my case. But who would be interesting? And again, not necessarily good people, but interesting people. And this is assuming there's no language barrier, like a Doctor Who style. I can just talk to whomever. An historical figure. So many of them, honestly. Try and think of a good one. I think broad. Yeah, wow. I'm having trouble having trouble picking just one. I'm always interested in, the thinkers, the people who came up with shit, even if they end up being discredited. And Freud strikes me as someone who'd be interesting to talk to, or H.G. Wells, just to get a handle on his imagination. Even going back to someone like Pythagoras, just trying to get into his head. He's like, so this is some wild shit you're coming up with. How are you coming up with it? Cat Eater, you'd like to talk to Martin Luther King? Yeah, definitely. Abigail, did I say severalness? I don't know, severity. I don't know. Top three. You see, the top three is no easier than the top 10, really. They're just people all through, from, like even, sitting down with Hitler and saying, what's your fucking story? Just, what? How the fuck does your brain work, son? Or someone like Alexander the Great, who accomplished things that would have appeared. I probably said severe illness. Yes, I think that's probably what I said. Maybe I slurred. Mofi, lockdown is taking forever. Yeah, it is without a doubt a fucking drag. It's clearly working, but it is absolutely a drag. And I'm doing better than most, and I can completely empathize with people who are finding it very difficult, because it's fucking full on. It is really full on. Yeah, Shannon, when you were saying Hitler smacking him upside the head, I assume there'd be some rule like I'm not allowed to shoot anyone I'm talking to. Kat, would I talk to someone who I hate just so I can tell them how much I hate them? That would be very tempting. That would be very, very tempting. Don't think you necessarily get anywhere with it, but it would be very tempting. Yes. Raiders, you want to go bushwalking in Tassie? It's very good for it. I did that a few years ago, and is a very good place for exploring. I really quite enjoyed Tassie. But yeah, I mean, you want to sit with someone and just have fun. Someone who's like a raconteur. And I start thinking of the famous Irish writers in particular, Brendan Behan, James Joyce, people who would be like a raconteur would be fun. Or just going out and get like shit-faced. If you go back in time to the peak of the Rat Pack and really knock a few back with Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin, that'd be pretty fucking fun, wouldn't it? That would be pretty fucking fun. Now I think of it, a night out with the Rat Pack at their peak. Fuck me, that would be wild. I think that's at the top of my list now. Actually, go out with the Rat Pack at their peak. Cat Eater, any monarchs? Again, if you were able to actually talk to a monarch, and again, virtually any monarch, because monarchs are weird as fuck as far as I'm concerned. Someone who thinks by divine right they're ruling a kingdom, or maybe, it's one of the monarchs who was actually a conqueror. But someone who's controlling a country, you'd probably have a fascinating conversation with them. Yeah, I'm assuming as part of this that this other person is completely open to talking with you. Virtually any monarch, I think, would be a fascinating conversation. Shannon, you go for Bruce Lee, number one. Yeah, Bruce Lee was an interesting thinker. I think he'd be an interesting conversationalist. But yeah, now I think I've got to it. I think we've hit the. I think I want to go out drinking with the Rat Pack at their height. That would be a tad fun, is my thoughts. But oh my God, you'd have a headache the next day, is all I'm saying, because they did not do things by halves. So, yeah, that would be another good part of if there's no after effect. Or, just again, if there were no after effects to what you did, just go and do fucking hallucinogens with Toulouse-Lautrec or something. Drop acid with Sigmund Freud. Any of the smoke, who's a famous opium smoker? All those writers who did Laudanum, just fucking getting ripped on heroin with them. Raiders ready to walk in Tassie, Cradle, mate, Lake Sinclair. Yeah, I went with Mrs. Angry and we hired a car and we drove around a few. We did the hike up around Cradle Mountain and drove around quite a bit to some of the beaches and whatnot. There's actually videos of it on my YouTube channel. Tassie is a good holiday. Shannon, Bruce Lee got a degree in philosophy before he became famous. He once famously asked an interviewer, "What'd you get a degree in philosophy?" He replied, "So I can take deep thoughts about being unemployed." Yes. Yeah, I think you're right. Bruce Lee would be an interesting conversationalist. From what I remember of what was talked about him, he wouldn't drink alcohol. Could be right. He was very much into the marijuana, though. In fact, I think he liked to eat. I'm not sure if it was marijuana leaves or hashish or whatever, but I believed he was a big believer that the cannabis was a mind expander. And he would get well into the gear, is my understanding. I mean, hey, talking with Bruce Lee while he was high, that would be good. That would be a conversation to remember right there. Jenny did edibles and joints. Yeah. I think for the time where edibles weren't such a big deal, he was more into it than most people were. But yes. Yeah. a night out with Bruce Lee while he was high. That would be pretty good. That sounds like a jolly time. In fact, I could definitely get into some of that action. There's the point. I mean, we're spoiled. Through history, there are so many interesting people. But oh god, I was just thinking of. I think it was a Woody Allen movie from a couple of years ago. I didn't watch it properly, but the basic thing is one of the ones that Woody Allen's not in. He stopped putting himself in the movies. Owen What's-His-Face is the lead and essentially the Woody Allen proxy. And I don't know, he somehow mysteriously is able to go back in time. Like he romanticizes Paris in the 1920s. And he's in Paris with his wife and some friends on a holiday. And there's somehow this magical way he goes back to the 1920s and he's having the time of his life and he meets a woman that he really likes. And she romanticizes the period of about 80 years previous. She thinks where she is, Paris of the 1920s, kind of sucks. She reckons there's a period in the 1800s that was much better. And they find a way to go there. And of course, there's someone there who thinks the age they live in is boring and there was another age in the past. You get the metaphor or the message he's going for. Silumi, listening at the gym. Nice. We'll try and keep you entertained as you do your gymming. And even with the news of the day. Again, every time I think of getting back into like pre-recorded videos, doing the angry videos, I don't know, it just fucking overwhelms me and does my head in a bit. So I don't do it. I probably will at some point, but yeah, it's my motivation is really quite low to do that. And so yeah, I've got to get my motivation back. I've got to want to do it because, like I said, it's not, the idea of being big on YouTube is not really for me. I have to enjoy what I'm doing. And so I just have to get myself into an appropriate mindset. And then I'll be more able to work on that type of thing. Well, I will say, you all have missed out on some good videos. There are some great videos I didn't make. I was kind of really happy with a concept and an idea, and I could never find a time to do it. And it is complicated that everyone's working from home now. And it's again, just makes it that much more difficult for me to do the videos. The spare room that I had set up as a studio has now just been all rejigged, so Mrs. Angry can use it as an office, which is more important than me making silly videos. And I could easily still do it. It would just be more fiddling around, which, yeah, again, just mentally, it's just like, ugh, it's such a drag. I really only require a slight inconvenience to get in my way, and I don't do something becomes slightly inconvenient, and it's like, yeah, maybe not, the thing. So, yeah. Shannon, maybe stream with AIDS or someone have a Muscat opinion on current day events. That's what this is. Although this is more socializing than anything else. But Cat Eater, you need more people on BitChute. I don't even know what BitChute is. I mean, I have heard of it. Aims to put creators first, provide service they can use to flourish and express their ideas. Video hosting service for accommodating far-right individuals and conspiracy theorists. Oh, Jesus, fuck. No. I've got better things to do with my life. I just have better things to do with my life. It's actually deliberately designed to cater to right-wing people, and they can have it. It's theirs. Life is too short to mess around with that sort of thing. Mysterious visitors to the kitchen. Who knows what mysterious things they're doing? Silumi, you're also easy to persuade yourself out of not doing something. Yeah. Which is where actually the Cocktail Channel has been good for me to make 2 or 3 videos a week. Just keep me focused and say, no, there's a thing. You were doing this. You were doing a thing. It's taken 6 months. I'm about to hit 100 subscribers, which is a bit of a milestone. Just goes to show starting from 0 is a real thing. Because I haven't done it for well over 10 years. And so, I almost feel like maybe that's a milestone. Maybe that's a sort of a critical point, and then it gets easier from there. But yes. Shannon, did Packer use a diagnosis of bipolar disorder as a defense for being a piece of shit? He's just a piece of shit. The two are unrelated. There's mental illness is a real and troubling thing, and Packer's a piece of shit. He was raised by a piece of shit to be a piece of shit. Ooh, Silumi, you got a hemp gin from Giniversity. Speaking of which, now I've finished my fruit juice, I might actually put some water in here to cleanse my palate. I've been chilling my gins, and I might do a taste test. All right, I'm just going to get some water as a palate cleanser. I got it. Fucking inhaled that. I gotta calm that down. Where's my shot glasses? Where's my shot glasses? Hey, where's the shot glasses gone? Oh, there they are. There. Shot glasses. Alright. I think I hate that when you inhale liquid. Oh, God, that's terrible. Okay. In the microphone. Shot glasses. It's a recommendation. I put the gin in the freezer. Okay. So, this is the neat little package it comes in. Tiny Bear's Christmas gins. So, this one, they've got their cute little mascots. This one's the Australian Summer. Enjoy a floral and wattle punch in our most unique creation yet. Taste the subtle citrus from native lemon myrtle with a full-body nutty macadamia finish. Drink with your favourite tonic to bring out the Aussie botanicals. Garnish with a sprig of fresh lavender from your garden or your neighbours. And that is 44% ABV, slightly stronger than average. And then there's Christmas pudding. Just like Grandma used to make, just as boozy. We swapped out the usual gin botanicals for currants, cranberries, apricots, and orange. Finished off with a subtle drop of spice and decadent almond. This gin will make a heavenly summer gin and tonic garnished with gin and tonic, not gin and tonic, garnished with a generous chunk of orange. And this one's called Gingerbread. Gingerbread cookie for the adults. This is sweet, spicy gin. Immediate ginger hit is complemented by warming cinnamon, clove, and nutmeg. Forget subtle. Enjoy this gin with your favourite spicy ginger beer. to really let that gingerbread shine. Drink and enjoy responsibly. Your soul needs warming. And they have done a thing that I've seen a lot of people do that really irritates me. When they're saying complimented, they spell it COMPLIMENT. And it should be COMPLEMENT. Compliment with an I is you look beautiful. Compliment with an E is that goes well together. Megaleech, who's the new character? Which new character? I'm sorry, what are we talking about? Oh, you got Never Never Juniper Gin as well. Nice. Kirsten, you have 864 Insta followers, taking you 2 years, but also lazy don't do enough content. Yes. Shannon, I don't like ginger beer or gingerbread either, so I don't know if I like that ginger gin. That would be interesting. Oh, the new character. Sorry. That was like a granny who smokes 2 packs of unfiltered cigarettes a day. All right. So left to right. Australian summer. What do they call it? I love the little bottles too. Love the little mascots. Where are we? Little mascots. No, it's there you go. You can kind of see it there. There we go. Little mascot. Got to open the bottle. COVID demon. That could be what it was, Megaleech. Definitely. Justin, that would be excellent if Trump's doctors just put him in an induced coma till after the election. That would be good for everyone. God, how do I break this seal? God damn it. Evening, Bobo. I am doing well. You got a Corona beer? That's all right. I also thought it was funny, like, yes, of course, you know. Is it Corona beer? As we have the coronavirus. And, you know, when we had the outbreak of SARS, there was actually, I think it's an Asian sarsaparilla drink that was called SARS. Can't have been good for their sales. One suspects, anyway. Okay, got the seal off. That was more than a tad annoying. So, break the seal on my Australian summer gin. Shannon, yes, I know Philip DeFranco from the very early days of YouTube. Ooh, it's a nice aroma. I think I can sort of get citrusy stuff. Let's have a quick taste of this one. Very lively, this one. Let's see it. I don't want to drop them. How do they describe this one? Floral and wattle punch. Subtle citrus. I feel like I can taste some citrus. Definitely can't taste the macadamia. But I mean, they really talk some waffle on here. So. It's a very zesty gin, that one. But when COVID came out, you wanted to drink Corona while sitting in an old Toyota Corona. Listen to my Sharona. Nice. Jenny, saying you like his Philip Franco's thing on the Trump COVID. I very rarely watch his videos. Yeah, it would be interesting because he used to have a lot of filthy little right-wing troll fans. that he was always very careful. He didn't want to lose them. But he would semi-regularly do stuff that he knew would alienate the little fuckboys. All right. So this is the Christmas pudding one. Hello, Chris. Shannon, are you posting comments on YouTube on the Grasshopper account? Because it seems like everyone except me can see that, which is just funny. Yes, if anyone's talking about the lines of succession, it's quite straightforward. If Trump dies or withdraws before the election, the Republican Party just nominates someone else, and it would probably be Pence. If Trump were to win the election but died before inauguration, then Pence would become president. On the nose, this is very similar to the other one. Gluck, 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 gluck. Ah, there you go, Shannon. Okay, now I know. Okay, cool. Good evening, Annette. This one's much sweeter. Oh, and it does have those Christmas spices in it, definitely. I can actually agree with their description on this one. This is like instantly. I rarely think of gins as sweet, but having this one after the Australian summer one, which is a bit citrusy, I guess, this is definitely much sweeter. And does have those like Christmas pud spices. Whew. Oh yes, Annette, you missed. I got my new shipment from the Tiny Bear Distillery of their Christmas gins. And I'm doing a comparative taste test. Cleanses the palate. Now the last one, the Ginger Bear, which is meant to taste like gingerbread. See if I can open this without a knife. Friggin' difficult. Yep, I got it. Not as difficult as those hard plasticky waxes. So this is meant to be very ginger flavored, obviously. Ooh, Annette, you made a whiskey sour highball. I think, I think sometimes people call it a different name if it's a highball. But yes, I know what you mean. Bubba, is there any validity to the story that Trump is only willing to transfer power to Ivanka and not Pence if he can't perform his duties? No, Trump actually doesn't have that authority. The Republican Party does. Constitutionally, he has no power at all to do that. Constitutionally, if Trump's unable to fulfill the... When is this going to come out? If Trump's unable to fulfill his role as president, the vice president becomes president. And if something subsequently happens to the vice president, Speaker of the House becomes president. Nancy Pelosi. Wouldn't that drive the Republicans crazy? Kirsten Ego's called a fizz as well as a highball. Yes. Chris, you're worried about several Republican senators sick, dying, jeopardizing functions of Congress. And it is insanity. Trump's not forced to quarantine in a hotel room. Just making me see. What's this one smell like? Again, I'm really bad at picking stuff off, just off the nose. These have all smelled really similar to me. This actually probably smells a bit more subtle than the other two. Let's go taste. We want ASMR gurgling noises. Did the microphone pick that up? I look at the little gurgling noise as you pour it out. All right. Down we go. Now, to taste the ginger gin. Really did. I thought I would. It's a great noise. Well, that tastes much sharper. Be the ginger in it. Whew, yeah, it's got that ginger warmth as well. Wow. On the back of the palate. Yes. Cat eater, is there an alt-right problem in Australia like there is an ethno-nationalist problem in Europe? Well, the guy who murdered all those people at the mosque in New Zealand was an Australian. So maybe that will answer your question. It's a little bit sweet again. But definitely on the sort of late on the palate is that ginger warmth. The other two are sweeter than the Christmas pudding's the sweetest one. The Australian summer one is a drier, citrusy one. Catherine, you like the gurgling sound? Yeah, Chris, there's a big question. Why did he go to New Zealand? He planned it because it was actually legal to acquire the weapons that he acquired to do the shooting, and it is not legal to get those weapons in Australia. So I think the evidence is he fucking planned it. He knew he could go to New Zealand and it would be easier for him to acquire the weapons he wanted for mass murder. Because he was just a piece of shit. Might make a gimlet out of one of them. They're recommending lime with when I looked at ginger gin cocktails online, they're all recommending lime. Cat eater, anyone who calls themselves an ethno-nationalist is a worthless, sniveling, fucking piece of shit. Absolute scum, Hitler-worshipping, fascist wannabe cunts. Absolute fucking filth. No grey area whatsoever. Okay, Catherine, good question. Pence is acting president. Can he nominate an acting vice president so that Pelosi doesn't become VP? Pelosi is not vice president if Pence is acting president. She's still Speaker of the House. Vice president's a fairly meaningless role unless something happens to the president. So short answer is I don't think so. But if Trump dies, Pence can nominate a Pence and or the Republican Party can nominate a vice president straight away. But if it's just temporary, like it's the whatever amendment that says if the president's unable to continue duties, the vice president takes over, and that's in an acting role unless the incapacity is permanent. So yeah, if Trump was dead or resigned as president, Pence would become president and Pence could nominate a vice president. There's no such thing, I don't think, as an acting vice president. So yeah. But if Pence and Trump were both laid low, not even having to die, but if they were both completely incapacitated by COVID, which is a really distinct possibility, then Nancy Pelosi would be acting president. Nobody, good evening to you. Cat eater, you debated some, wanted to get your thoughts. I consider the concept of debate with these right-wing cunts an absolute waste of time. They just want to grandstand and puff and preen. It's that saying about playing chess with a pigeon. They'll knock everything over and shit all over the board and then strut around like they won. It is an absolute waste of time. Particularly any fucking outright fascist who identifies as an ethno-nationalist is an utter waste of time to engage with them. It's just validating their fucking hatred. Annette could be a real wild ride. I'd say we're about 90% likely to have a real fucking wild ride. Oh, Annette, yeah, that saying that weird shit about I feel better than I did 20 years ago. Yeah, dude, that's the fucking mania from the steroids they've fucking pumped you up with. Jesus. I honestly despair if Trump does not get quite sick. Like I said, he doesn't even have to go to intensive care, just sick enough that, like, you know, he has to lie down. He can't, because I've heard young, healthy people getting COVID and they're saying it's like turbo flus, like absolute shortness of breath, can't walk across a room without wheezing and having to lean on something. And that's young, healthy people. Like, if he doesn't get sick in an incapacitating way, I think that is extraordinarily bad news for the world, because he has already started saying that dumb shit about don't be scared of COVID, you can beat it. And it's just like, fuck you, you fucking piece of shit. Chris, the only way to talk to a fascist, make them agree with you, smash the head in, from Lenin. I think it's probably been a few good quotes like that over the years. Yeah, I think, like I was saying with Trump, the next 3 or 4 days, I mean, he's almost definitely going to get worse. There is only a really small chance that he's not getting worse. He's almost definitely getting worse. And like I said, I think he needs to at least, like, you know, he doesn't even have to get as bad as Boris, who was in like intensive care and was in a real bad way. But yeah, you know, if he doesn't get sick to the extent that, like, he has to fucking lie down, like, I actually think that's really bad for the world, because it's going to grossly undermine the health message that is so important. Yeah, Megalich, if Trump just gets at a Boris level, like really, really quite sick, you know, bordering on intensive care, and if Trump got it that bad, given like he's like 20 years older than Boris, I think he'd have a longer recovery as well. Oh, Chris, the leaks from Kellyanne's daughter. Yes, Kellyanne Conway's daughter hates her fucking mother and is dishing shit on her on the internet all the time. It is very funny. No, but do you think there should be more and more gatherings of pro-Trump people? Special effort to, yeah, not social distance and whatnot? Yeah. Shannon, will we do Angry Bunch tonight? I don't know. We will see. Megaleech, no, there is not a solid date on when Trump was diagnosed positive, because they keep fucking lying to us and not saying anything public. So okay, I am going to find a good gimlet recipe. Liquor.com. Ooh, Steve the bartender's recipe. All right, I might go with liquor.com. I like liquor.com. How did they say to make it? Gin, lime juice, simple syrup. Yep. Ooh, in the shaker and shake. Ooh. I'll use my sexy ice. I'm going to use my sexy ice. I get an old-fashioned glass. And some of my sexy ice. All right, sexy ice. Get that out of the way. Get my shaker. Put some ice in my shaker. That's enough of that. Get my lime juice. And my oleosaccharum. All right. Right. So, and I don't have my jigger. Where'd I put my jigger? Ooh, that looks nasty. So, got to clean it properly. So just take a second. Ooh. Got look milk in it. That's bad. That's bad form. That is very bad form. Right. No, that's okay. There's water on my glasses. Okay, we're getting there. Right. I'm going to make a gimlet with this ginger gin. Okay. Well gifted Aspie, bonjour. Justin Biden's probably going to have to demand the White House be thoroughly cleaned before he enters. Yes. Yes. The deep clean, as they call it. God, this feels dodgy. Yeah, 2.5 ounces gin. That's pretty serious. And we do just... half an ounce of my oleosaccharum. Citrusy sugar syrup. Makes it a bit more like a lime cordial, as they used to make gimlets with. Not many modern bartenders use a lime cordial. I normally use lime juice and sugar syrup. All right. A little bit snobby, really. The lime cordial is looked down upon by modern bartenders. Abigail, they need to change all the mattresses that Trump slept in to get the urine out. Probably. Bobo, Trump did say the next debate's going to go ahead, but anything Trump says now is meaningless. We've got to see what happens in the next week, basically. Okay, it's very cold. And I didn't get my strainer. Good Lord. I was forgetting things. Wait, no, it's over here. With my cocktail gear. The Hawthorne strainer. All right, let's strain that over the sexy ice. Ooh. That is not a bad wash line. Here we go. That is not a bad wash line. Just about right on a drink. So, that's pretty good. Because you like a gimlet with Bilson's lime cordial, delicious and lazy. Nice. That's a radical proposal. Nobody nuke the White House and leaving Trump stuff in there. Yeah, okay. And Australian Parliament, maybe. Justin, you reckon Biden will say to his staff they all need to live in the White House to protect them from COVID? Who knows? So, yes. So, that's my gin gimlet. Fairly simple gin, lime juice, and sugar syrup. Oh, that really works. That really works. That is a nice beverage. Be interesting to actually try them side by side. Make the same drink, and a gimlet would be a good. Actually, maybe I'll do that on Friday night. I'll do it for a video for my YouTube channel. Got to decide which gin cocktail. Gimlet's a good choice, I think. Maybe something else. But because this is pretty good. Maybe a martini, actually. Try them all in a martini with just a splash of vermouth. Probably the of the myths I have. Probably the Regal Rogue Lively White. Just imagine having to live in your office for the greater good. Well, the White House does have a lot of living space. I'm quite confident Biden won't say his staff have to live in the White House for protection. It's just he will be telling his staff to follow the right precautions. He will absolutely be telling his staff to follow the right precautions, which would massively reduce risk. Whereas Trump, being the stupid piece of shit he is, has been flouting all the proper behaviors. It's a fucking miracle it took him this long to get COVID, quite honestly. He's been surrounded by people who tested positive for months. I was absolutely amazed he didn't contract it months ago. But Caddy, to my thoughts on socialism, it's a complex question. It's going to depend on how someone defines socialism, and then you'll just get bogged down into a big argument on what socialism is, and then the socialists all start stabbing each other. What I will say is it's a self-evident truth that unfettered capitalism has failed. It's caused millions of unnecessary deaths, hardship, unimaginable hardship for hundreds of millions, if not billions of people, and is a complete fucking shit show. I think there should be some simple rules like the people at the top of a company should not be allowed to profit if the people at the bottom of the company don't have a living wage. It's as simple as that. The concept of Jeff Bezos's wealth growing exponentially while he's exploiting thousands and thousands and thousands of people directly by not paying them a living wage is a criminal. It's criminal. Jeff Bezos should be in prison until everyone working for Amazon, including on the manufacturing side, including on the delivery side, has a living fucking wage. The idea that you look down on particular sorts of work, like someone serving you at McDonald's, just going, if they want more than $5 an hour, you get a better job. Like, motherfucker, if you want a service, the people providing the service should have a living wage. It's as fucking simple as that. The people who clean the toilets should have a living wage. They should have secure employment from a single job. It's that fucking simple. And everyone in the middle who swallows the fucking lies fed to them by the politicians and the medias who are protecting the tiny sliver at the top is just like, no, it's not going to affect the middle at all to stop the absolute sliver at the top from fucking plundering the world for their personal enrichment. It just fucking does my head in. But it's fair call. Yeah, there's no honest billionaires. You don't get that rich unless someone else has suffered along the way. And some are easier to prove than others. Like Bezos's empire is exploiting thousands, if not millions, of people around the world. People who are living below the poverty line while working full time to feed those profits. That's criminal. Mark Zuckerberg profiting while Facebook continues exacerbate violence to the point of genocide around the world. Facebook is being used to whip up vigilante mobs. Facebook's directly responsible for the deaths of thousands and thousands and thousands of people around the world. Facebook has profited from extreme violence, and that shouldn't be allowed. As simple as that. What Facebook does with its basic destruction of democracy and freedom is the equivalent of companies who wreak massive ecological damage to drive up their profits, and they're never held responsible for cleaning up the literal messes they make. So it's like they wouldn't make those profits if they had to ensure they didn't destroy the environment in the meantime. Facebook couldn't make its billions if they had to ensure that they weren't facilitating abuse, violence, and even genocide. And nor should they be able to. It's a fucking farce that they're able to. Oh, Christ. We'll give you that. Elon fucking Musk. Oh, my God, he's a piece of shit. Family wealth from exploitative mining in South Africa. And, oh, my God, I just saw this headline the other day, like, because SpaceX had 2 scrubbed launches in a row or something. And there was this headline, like, Elon Musk is going to personally inspect the launch site after 2 scrubbed launches. And I'm going, you're going to do what, you fucking self-important, egotistical piece of shit? You know nothing about the technology. Your wealth has always come from exploiting other people's work. You fucking piece of shit. What are you going to inspect? What are you going to do, you fucking munter? You can't do better than the engineers who are setting this stuff up. You're just a bloated, bloviating, self-important, narcissistic piece of shit. Jesus Christ. Just what about Oprah Winfrey? Well, for a start, she's not a billionaire. But okay, Oprah Winfrey has and continues to promote charlatans, people with their bogus health use, like that Dr. Oz, who's not a practicing medical doctor, by the way. There are multiple terrible medical charlatans Oprah Winfrey has promoted over the years, like unforgivable shit. Promoting medical charlatans who have ruined people's lives and killed people. And so, yeah, Oprah is dangerously into woo-woo shit that is incredibly dangerous to people's health and mental well-being. So she's definitely got a lot of sins against her. And it's just you get rich to a certain point, and when did Oprah get to be worth 2.5 billion? I have to admit, I don't pay any attention. Oprah net worth 2.5 billion. There you go. See, I haven't been paying any attention. Last time I paid any attention to her net worth, it was a mere couple of $100 million. So there you go. I stand corrected. Her net worth is $2.5 billion. So that just shows how little attention I pay to her, because the last time I paid any attention, her net worth was a couple of $100 million. Chris, yes, that's a good plan. If you come into money, don't tell anyone. And yeah, pay taxes. Absolutely. God, I tell you what I wouldn't do. Like, you remember that cockhead who invented Minecraft and sold it for $1 billion? I think he stopped doing it now, but there was this extended period where he was just being a gross, misogynist piece of garbage on the internet. It was like, dude, the last fucking thing I'd do if I had $1 billion was be a cunt on the internet. I would just get, Charlie, you're going to get an e-bike with your billions. Is that what you're doing? Raiders, there was a really interesting interview with Mark Cuban I heard a little while ago with these people who have a very left-wing podcast, or a couple of different podcasts. This one was called Worst Year Ever, and they had an interview with Mark Cuban. And yeah, he is very good at coming across as a thoroughly decent person. So, yeah. No, but definitely the rich step on other people to get things. Absolutely. Cuban got the vast majority of his wealth from a single deal, which was actually a fucking scam. Not a scam as in he did anything illegal, but the business that he sold for $1 billion was not worth anything, basically. But it was a dot-com boom thing, and he cashed out. And so he made his money because a bunch of idiot bankers thought he was worth it, basically. That's it. Well gifted Aspie. Notch's real name is Marcus Pearson. Now you say that, reckon? So what do I think of tax cuts? They're bullshit. They're absolute. I probably am going to personally benefit from them. The government should not be thinking of tax cuts. The government should be thinking of infrastructure spending. As the one should be doing support to, like the JobKeeper, job seeker shit. That should stay in place so people have money, can live and keep spending. There should be infrastructure spending, public works spending to keep people employed and to keep shit happening. Tax cuts for the rich is a fucking farce and just mind-blowingly counterproductive. Because if you had real money, you get a mountain cabin in Washington, New Zealand, then have a condo rental in the city. Just tell people vacation and extra college. Nice. That's a good plan. Cat Eater, you hate the most Mark Collette. Completely unfamiliar with that person. I'll look them up because I love a good hate. Let's have a look. The name actually sounds vaguely familiar. If I look them up, a British activist. Oh, he's a neo-Nazi. Okay, yeah, very hateable. Very hateable. Yep. Once you get into the neo Nazis, that's fucked. Abigail, if you had $1 billion, you'd be building affordable housing for people and public housing. Yeah, I would like to think. I would like to think I would do some worthwhile and even fun projects if I had $1 billion. Put some thought into how to best allocate the money, but you'd be spoiled for choice. You'd be spoiled for choice on really good quality programs to actually help people. Said Carita that neo-Nazi's wife has a swastika on her breast. Of course she does. Of course she does. What else do you do if you're a neo-Nazi? Ugh. Justin, I would also like to travel if I had lots of money, quite honestly, because I've not really done a lot. Because you don't need $1 billion, just 500,000 to get going. Yeah, it's remarkable how the money's like. It's like that really ridiculous line of money can't buy happiness. It's like, well, when you're fucking poor, money will get rid of almost all your stress. I forget who it was who said it, but he goes, someone who's very successful, and they said, "Look, I've been poor and happy. I've been poor and unhappy. I've been rich and unhappy, and I've been rich and happy." And he's honestly, rich and happy and poor and happy are both good. Rich and happy is better. Poor and happy is way better than rich and unhappy. But poor and unhappy fucking sucks balls. That's just shit. Rich and unhappy is way better than poor and unhappy. But there are definitely many cases of rich people because I don't know, they're just horrible and shallow, and their life is fucked, and they're not happy. But they don't have the same struggles as people who are fucking poor. Kirsten, that's an excellent one with $1 billion. Give a bunch of people stipends to create stuff. I would love to. I'd look at people who I really like working in particular fields. That would be that would include musicians and saying, what is the best thing that could happen? Like, what would be the best investment, like for you personally, and for music a bit broader? Would it be venues? Would it be studios? Would it be this? Would it be that? Artists, like filmmakers. What would be a really great project? Distillers. What can we do with a distiller? But definitely that is a really good idea. People who are inspired, but somewhat lacking in capital, work with them and say, okay, what's your vision? How much do you need for it? Chris, making movies would be good. Just finding stuff that this should always be a movie. There should be a movie of this, and finding out, like, if it was an adaptation of something, finding out who had the rights, would be responsible for, and just find really passionate filmmakers and say, right, we're going to do a thing, and this is the thing we're going to do. Let's go. Oh yeah, Charlie, financial security is very much like happiness. Too much money and the relentless pursuit of more could definitely make you unhappy. And people definitely make mistakes if they suddenly come into money. Speaking of which, let's buy a lotto ticket. I don't know. I never even look. Look on the internet. Is there a big lotto on? $20 million. See, I don't need $1 billion. 20 million would be good. Should we get a $20 million ticket? And that's Thursday night, so I'll be doing a live stream. Okay. The fuck? Stupid thing. Fuck are we doing here, guys? They've fucking changed something on PayPal. Not happy, Jan. I didn't want that to happen. Okay, whatevs. They fucking changed something about how PayPal works. It still worked. All right. So I actually did it. Almost never do it. So, okay, if I get a mystery call on Thursday night's live stream, could be someone calling to say I won $20 million. There you go. So I don't know why I did that. I just did that. But there you go. Just raise the odds of winning from absolutely zero to just barely above zero. To all practical intents and purposes, it's still zero, but mathematically, it is actually slightly above zero. Yes. No, I hope I win too. If I get a phone call on Thursday night's live stream and go off and answer it and come back and go, that was no one. Oh my God, that would be so stupid. Anyway, Lee's asking about Angry Bunch. I suppose you're not the only one asking. Why not? Last half hour. Why not? Why not indeed? Something to do on a Tuesday night. Why not indeed? My super clear ice. You're happy with how that's working. It's all about directional freezing. I might put this back in the freezer. I want to save the ice for another night. Because it takes a couple of days to make. Oh, that's a real drag. A couple of days. Lee, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Just went to uni today. That was good.
Cool. Sorry, I just realized that probably Shannon wanted to come on too, and I probably have to do it on Facebook for him. Where's the all right, my brain will only let me do one thing at a time. And Abigail.
Yeah.
How you doing, Abigail?
Yeah, I'm okay. Doing okay.
Good.
I'm having sound problems, so I'm going to use this opportunity to experiment with my sound software.
Okay. Fair enough.
At the moment, and it's got something to do with channel buffering and that. I have some really complex sound software that I use.
Okay.
And it's a nightmare.
I think I'm getting an echo of me coming from your thing as well.
Oh, really? Hang on. Yeah, I can see that.
Oh, okay. There we go. On top of that, I see Safa saying yes. Oh, no, the echo is still happening. So I don't know what's causing that. I'm just going to double check if I do that. Yeah, it's definitely happening at your end.
Yeah, fair enough.
And nobody. Hello. Oh, I can't hear you, nobody.
How's that?
Let me see. Can I hear myself? No, you fixed it, Abigail. But now nobody has some audio, as in lack of audio problems on his end, which is something that does normally happen. Okay. I didn't notice the Safa. Yeah, I saw that story. A Melbourne person went to a country town.
How about now?
Nah, there you are, buddy.
Hello, nobody.
Winner.
Yeah.
One thing I know how to think of my feet with sound. God, I need to.
Winner, tofu dinner.
Yeah.
Yes, that too.
So someone from Melbourne went to like one of the country areas, and I don't know if they were even legally allowed to be there, but it turns out they were COVID positive, and they've infected one other person. And it's just like,
That was clever.
what a fucking numpty, honestly. Jesus. In Safa's mum's town. There you go. Jesus. Yeah, when I heard that, I was like, what are the fucking odds? Like, one idiot goes out there and they happen to be actually positive for the Rona. Jesus.
Well, that's what we call a prima donna. You know, someone with an escalated importance and sense of importance.
Yeah, Safa, I hadn't seen any of the details, but you're saying they had work reasons? They've got to be precious few jobs that are acceptable for someone to go from Metro Melbourne out to a regional area. There are definitely some, but they've got to be precious few that, because I think mostly people in the regions work in the regional areas.
No, I hear
Actually,
they
probably-
let certain truck drivers interstate.
Oh yeah, truck drivers going to say. I was thinking, but yeah, this person was like working. I thought they were in a cafe or something, which hardly seems an acceptable reason to go. But I know there's a lot of government jobs. Like if you're working like government infrastructure stuff, there's a lot of people who like live in the Melbourne metro region, but have to go out to the country areas for their work. Truck drivers are an obvious one. But yeah, it's just like every time there's a story about the bloody infection and blah blah blah, and there's always and they were from Melbourne, and it's just like, oh damn, it's just
Seriously.
It's plague town.
Hold on.
What's wrong with us? Honestly, just going around infecting people. It's yeah. And now we don't know if we're going to get the numbers down enough to actually get out of lockdown in a week or two. It's a bit stressful.
I keep saying it every time this comes up. We are not going to get out of lockdown until there's a vaccine. It's just not going to happen.
Well,
That's an unpleasant thought.
I
to us-
know it's awful,
Yeah.
but short of locking down the country and making everyone stay at home and do a China where they just like killed it in its tracks by just locking everyone down, hard lockdown. We're too social. It's just not going to happen until there's a vaccine.
but you
And there's
just
a lot of people. Go on.
No, you go, nobody.
I was just going to say there's a lot of people who are very eye focused instead of we,
Yes.
which is which is why the
Yeah.
right wing bullshit is thriving, because there's too many eyes and not enough we,
yeah.
not enough
The-
us, not enough community.
Yeah.
The individual
agree.
collective view of things. Yeah. But as the thing, we're not China. You can't do that. And there's
No, that's true.
there's a limit to how long a lockdown can happen before you do actually have to say, hey, you know what? A few people are going to get infected. But we could get to the point where it's low enough numbers that it's
Yes, Charlie, I
manageable.
realised what I'd said after I'd said it. It was a little too late after that point.
Yeah, that's all right.
Not enough we. Have you been talking to Trump?
Yeah.
Oh, I've actually spoken to that man in the past.
Oh,
Wow.
really?
Yeah,
I
he
feel
was
sorry for
somewhat
you.
diplomatic. He was
Hmm.
actually somewhat diplomatic,
Amazing.
but I was more diplomatic.
That's a word he probably
than
can't
was.
spell.
Yeah,
Ugh, yeah.
Got too many
Yes.
syllables.
but not something I want to do again.
Yeah,
No.
I think it must have. I mean, it's one of those things, if you got a man like that in front of you and you're not allowed to punch him,
It's
I
just
was
stressful.
allowed to punch him because he wasn't president or anything like that back then. That was 9 years ago.
yeah.
He was just
I found it very amusing that guy who headbutt Tony Abbott. That was just fucking hilarious. He's going, "Oh, there's Tony
Where's-
Abbott. I'm going to headbutt him."
Oh, that
Where's Egg Boy
misogynist.
when you need him?
Yeah. There was it's hardly surprising though that guy, got a fairly serious conviction You can't go around headbutting politicians and not expect some blowback.
In all fairness, he probably shouldn't have done it. Like you shouldn't go around headbutting someone just because we think they're a fuck knuckle. The fact that he is a fuck knuckle is irrelevant. You don't go around headbutting people.
Yeah.
It's funny because it was somebody we don't like.
It was still funny, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Grasshopper.
Hey,
Hello.
Hello, Grasshopper.
Hey, Abby. Hey, Lee. Hey, nobody. How are
Hey,
we?
bud.
Yeah, I'm alive. I'm better than I was Sunday.
That's good.
The only regret that I've got about that guy headbutting Tony Abbott was the fact that he was wearing a Vote Yes badge at the time.
Yeah, it made
the media
it
then able to
damaged
literally
the
go,
cause.
"This is the yes vote," you know.
Yeah, it damaged the cause. That's absolutely true.
Yeah, that was the coincidence. But yeah,
But yeah, I mean, you've got to be mindful of that. I mean, everything has a PR element to it, and then you've got somebody who has a Vote Yes thing, and they do a violent act. It looks bad for the cause.
Yeah, but it didn't have much effect in the end, so that was good.
No, that's true.
That much is true.
I move in, as you know, moderate Christian circles. I emphasize moderate because there's moderates and there's as I call it, there's Christians and there's real Christians.
Yes,
because the fundamentalists aren't real Christians; they're just arsewhack.
But the moderates provide a foundation for the fundamentalists to have an audience.
Like there's truth in that. There is truth in that.
Without that foundation, the fundies would be laughed out of every circle.
There's truth in that. There is truth in that.
I think the moderates came from the extremists. I think.
Yeah, I think there's truth in that also.
Yeah. But
I'll tell you what,
you are right there though, Abby. What were you trying to say there? Nobody, sorry? I
was just saying that I think I've tested the patience of the moderate church I attend. I had me a little bit of a panic attack Sunday night. Now, the problem is, it was a panic attack during the service. I'm part of the two Sunday services because I'm the sound guy. I'm also the video guy. So I and there's a laptop plugged into a projector that has words, scripture, all that sort of business. During the morning service, not a problem. I can just do my thing and go, yep, push that slider up. That sound's working great. Hello, Justin.
Hey, Justin.
Evening service, I'm on my own.
Right.
Evening service, last part of the service before everyone goes home. It felt like I was having a bloody heart attack. It was fucking awful.
Not good.
Have you ever had, you ever had that pain in your body, like a pain in your chest? That is it's such a strong pain it actually makes your eyes water. Whole chest.
I know that.
It was very unpleasant. So I managed to get through there and managed to pack the equipment, turn the sound stuff off, and then it's like, right, my car's over there. Fuck off ski immediately.
Yeah.
Here's where the testing of the patience of the community comes into it.
Right.
At the best of times, I'm very unforgiving if my car is acting up.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't warmed up. I started the engine, went to back out, and it went and stalled. I went, oh, you bastard, you picked the wrong fucking night.
No.
So, there is a nice little number 11 in the church car park.
Mm-hmm.
A nice black
11?
number 11.
Yeah.
Oh, as long as it's not number 9, I'm happy.
No, I got the car out of the parking spot. It stalled again.
Oof.
I am
So I
confused
just
right
floored
now.
it. I just held it at like 6,000 RPM and dumped it.
that's
So
what you mean by the
tire
number 11.
The
That's
number
what I mean
11.
about the number
Tires,
11.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fucking tire smoke and
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so
I was a tad
uh,
confused until you came out with that explanation. Now it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I
fun
got
fact: evening service is the old traditional style service. All seniors. I'm sure they'll love that.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that they would have been severely impressed.
I may face some questions next week.
Yeah.
It's funny. I used to work at a BP service station many moons ago, and we had a little whiteboard that was behind the counter, and we called it our wank account for the day. And it was
Every store needs one.
And it was the amount of people who would deliberately peel their wheels as they were leaving the service station. Or they would pull into the service station and deafen everybody with either their music or their engine note or whatever. I'm truly like, I'm not saying that you're one of these people, nobody. I'm just truly wondering how
I've
many
had my
of these
tosser moments. Don't worry. I freely admit that.
Yeah, no, same here. When I was younger, 100%. But like
I'm
I kind of
35. I kind of don't have the youth excuse anymore.
no, back in my youth, like when I was in my late teens and early 20s, I had the vroom vroom car that made all of the wonderful noises.
My car sounds like a cross between an egg beater and bloody a mob of goats shitting on tin. And honestly, it's got a pretty lame sounding exhaust system. And it's an Astron 4G54, and those Astron engines, they're renowned for two things. One, leaking fucking oil everywhere, check. And two, the balance shafts make all sorts of whirs and whizzes, so it basically sounds like a fucking egg beater.
I have no idea what an Astron is. I've never even heard of that.
It's the engines in the old Sigmas and Magnas and stuff like that.
Oh, the old Mitsubishi. Right.
Yeah, the 2.6.
Oh, bits missing.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, it's faithful. The car's never let me down. It puts up with a shitload of abuse.
A friend of mine had a Sigma, and we nicknamed it the Smogma for the amount of bloody smoke that it used to blow.
Damn.
Yeah. I need an engine rebuild, but I haven't got it. It's hard to justify, $3,500 fucking dollars on a pension.
It's difficult to justify $3,500 even when you're not on a pension, in my personal opinion. But then again, I am part Scottish, so.
I'd like to build a new engine, but yeah, expensive.
I'm just a uni student that's going to be studying a diploma in leadership next year, which means I'm not allowed to have any opinions and I have to be diplomatic.
You got to be objective all the time.
No, leaders are allowed to have opinions. All they've got to do is just make sure that everybody else understands that their opinion is the right one and everybody else's is the wrong.
Oh, yes. Well.
Or as it goes, I'm not arguing. I'm simply explaining why I'm right.
Or when some people say, when I say to people, I'm like, it's not the lying that hurts, it's the insult to my intelligence that I find pathetic.
As I've always been a fan of saying, look, if everybody could just, as I've always been a fan of saying, if everybody could just be reasonable and do it my way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's fair. That's absolutely fair.
No, in regards to this whole Trump COVID thing, if I may just steer the conversation for a moment, if I may. So
I'm a very bad Christian for wanting him dead.
Yeah.
He's had so far 2 experimental procedures to either help him out with the symptoms or basically stop him from getting dead, basically. Why
don't you try the bleach?
Yeah. Oh god, that'd be lovely. No, my fear is that he's going to come out of the arse end of this thing, not having a very severe reaction, which is a possibility.
Yeah,
he comes out the other end of it. Yeah, he comes out the other end of it without a very severe reaction, and he, being the loudmouth dickwad that he is, turns around and goes, "Oh, it was because of this experimental procedure and this experimental procedure," and then all of a sudden, the rest of America rushing towards these experimental procedures that have absolutely no fucking evidence that they work mass scale.
That is a distinct possibility.
Yeah,
that is a very distinct possibility.
That's already happened with hydroxychloroquine.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Which they're not giving to him in the hospital.
Hydroxychloroquine.
I still think they should give him bleach.
Said to. And there's one case. I mean, I think there's a kind of hydroxychloroquine, slightly different. It's actually made as fish food or something. And someone took it. And a couple took it, and one of them died.
Yes.
Yeah, and the other one barely made a recovery.
Yeah.
The 2 people that you're referring to, there were a couple that lived together that both took it together. The husband died and the wife barely made a recovery. Yes. Like, from what I understand, she's still fucked up to this day.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a good
Well, it was
point.
poison. It had a similar name, but it was actually poison. Whereas the medical grade hydroxychloroquine, I think, can help with malaria. I think that's one of the things.
It's a malaria treatment. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the same as those anti-vaxxer fuckwits out there that are going, "Oh, thimerosal is mercury and therefore it's poison." It's like, no, it's a different type of fucking mercury. When you have a look at it, as a chemical makeup, it is actually very different. And
ethyl mercury versus methyl mercury.
That is the one, Abby.
Explain the chemistry to you if you want.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Methyl mercury is highly toxic, and it bioaccumulates in lots of fish, and there's more of it in a tuna sandwich than
You're making milk.
1,000 doses of.
There's more of it
vaccines when
in
they had
one tuna
thimerosal.
fish. Yeah, there's more of it in one tuna fish sandwich than there is in all of the vaccines combined.
Yeah,
If all of them
and
had
the-
thimerosal.
thimerosal contained ethyl mercury, which the body processes in like 48 hours, and it's gone, and there are no harmful.
Yes, same as alcohol, ethyl alcohol, which we're drinking
Ethanol,
here,
yeah.
and methyl alcohol, which is good for cleaning surfaces, including your internal organs, if you drink it.
That's how my grandma died. My dad's mother died because she drank that. Because she couldn't
Methanol.
find alcohol. Yeah.
Well,
methylated
they
spirits.
they used to sell spirits for cleaning.
You have a
pure
visitor angry.
spirits, which was ethanol, and too many people bought it and killed themselves with alcohol poisoning. So they added methanol to it, and that's what's called methylated spirits.
Yes.
Yeah.
They basically it's the
They
same
denature it,
process.
don't they too?
Yes.
Sorry?
You have to denature it to make it safe. Yes.
Yeah, I think they make it
so the
just
same
basically
process
you'll throw up if
to,
you drink it or something.
Distill ethanol. It's exactly the same for methanol. They just don't, part of the fractional distillation process, they don't filter out the methanol. So it's actually less steps to make methylated spirits than it is to make ethanol.
Yeah, that's where you get occasional cases of people going blind or dying in isolated areas that someone's making moonshine and their distillation process is dodgy AF.
Yeah,
and
if you don't
ethanol and
there was that thing about the guys who made their own home version of Sam Booker, I think it was, that they tried to make, and they either popped it too early or they didn't follow an appropriate step at some point or something like that. But both of them decided that it was time to down the hatch, but also not just have a little zipper just to see what it tasted like, to see if it was successful, but no, like drink it to fucking excess. And both of them died pretty horrible, painful deaths. So
Darwin for the win.
Yeah, I don't think methanol poisoning is very pleasant. I don't think
Can't imagine so.
No, I can't imagine. No.
And
we're talking about this because of Trump.
So very quick, unpopular opinion. I am a fan of Dr. Pepper. I don't know if anybody else is. I am a fan of Dr. Pepper.
You're entitled to like what you like, mate.
I found this earlier tonight. This is Dr. Pepper with cream soda.
Oh, I've never tried that.
If anybody here is a fan of Dr. Pepper, I highly suggest. It's actually quite nice.
Okay.
Oh, I like the cherry one.
So I've heard.
Well, I'm willing to try
it. Tastes a bit like medicine.
Cherry drinks always taste like medicine, in my opinion.
When I lived in Florida, this was well and truly before Australia had ever seen vanilla Coke or cherry Coke or any of those. When I was in America, I got horribly addicted to cherry Coke while I was over there. I absolutely loved it. Came back to Australia, couldn't find it anywhere, was extremely upset. And then came across a little 7-Eleven style convenience store in the guts of the Sydney CBD that had various soft drinks and candies from America and overseas and whatnot.
Oh, yes.
And finally saw cans of cherry Coke, and it was like finding God. It was, give me. So I've bought this can of cherry Coke. I've stood outside. I swear to God, I sculled it in about 3.5 seconds, went in, bought another can, and had that. I was just happy as Larry for the rest of the day. And nowadays, I can't stand the taste of it. I can't be anyone.
Oh no! I
Seriously, I don't know what it is. No, I used to drink Coke like a fucking fiend, but I had to give it all away. I had to give away most caffeinated beverages because I had an issue called Wolff's-Parkinson's White syndrome, which is an extra electrical pathway in your heart that makes your heart beat irregularly. And
caffeine's bad for that.
I have that.
One of the things that that can trigger that, of course, is caffeine. So things like energy drinks, coffee, Coke, etc. Had to cut all of those out of my diet. But not long after that, I had a procedure called cardiac ablation, which is where they go in with a scope, they find the extra pathway, and they literally burn it out of you. So I am so metal, I had fire in my heart. And that got rid of the extra pathway.
Combustion, though, or was it just a hot wire with electricity running through it?
Look, Abby, let me live in my delusion if you don't mind. Okay.
That's all right. It's not a prima donna. So
It was.
You'll be all right.
It's like an impossible journey type thing where they injected a microscopic submarine into your aorta and they had lasers on it. And they zapped out the bits that had to be zapped out. And
no, see what it is. They've got the technology to shrink people. They sent a little man with a flamethrower in there.
Yeah,
exactly. That's how metal I am. Exactly. But yeah, no. So it was a few months between finding the diagnosis and getting the treatment, and in that time, I couldn't have any caffeine, so I had to give away Coke. I never drank coffee or tea, so I had to give away Coke and V and all of that sort of stuff that I drank. After the procedure, it was probably about a month or so after the procedure, was out at a friend's place out at a barbecue, and the only cold thing that they had to drink in the fridge was Coke. And so I poured myself a glass of it, and I couldn't stand the taste of it.
Gone right off.
Funny how that happens.
I used to drink a litre plus of Coke a day, and in February I just stopped. And I have since had the odd can here or there, but every time it's just, what is this?
Yeah.
No, I don't even have it.
I feel like
have one every now and then to remind myself that it's gross.
Yeah. So you're saying that like a litre a day. I feel like channeling Matthew McConaughey in what was the movie with about the investment bankers, but just with those rookie numbers. You got to pump those numbers up.
Wolf of Wall Street.
Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, that one.
You're drinking a litre of Coke a day. If maybe this will help. I know a guy who is quite a heavy set guy, a big bloke. I've seen him scull a 2-litre bottle of Coke in about a minute.
Nice.
Yeah.
Gone.
Coke does actually clean. Like if you put a coin in Coke, it does actually clean it.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So that guy's insides not dirty, all shiny and smooth, and
there's the cure for the coronavirus. It's Coke.
Just drink it. But you have to scull it.
No,
you have to scull 2 liters in under a minute.
Oh damn!
I'm in a slightly different situation. When I was younger, like I hated the taste of fizzy drinks, and I would say now, like I could probably have a fizzy drink, but the thing is, because I never drank it as a kid, I'm just not into it.
My wife is exactly the same. Difference. Yeah, my wife, she will have a very occasional tiny zip of somebody else's fizzy drink when, she feels like it, like a very occasional zip of lemonade or something like that. But she predominantly drinks water and tea. My drink of choice pretty much 24/7 is my homemade iced teas that I make, all decaf. But on the rare occasion, I'll buy myself a can of fizzy drink, just as a once a month type treat type thing, unless I go out to dinner, at which point my drink of choice is always a lemon bitters.
Yeah. I mean, look, I might have a fizzy. I mean, I might have a Coke or something if I'm at a party, but I am not gonna buy a bottle of Coke and have it in my fridge. It will stay there forever.
I used to buy like 10 2-liter bottles every time I went shopping.
I used to buy a case
and have them. Yeah.
I used to buy a case of 30 cans every week for me, personally.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hello, Costco.
Maybe wait till the supermarkets have it on special. I can just buy a bulk amount.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
But now my choice of drink is plain soda water, and that's all I drink now.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And the
Fair
odd
enough.
glass of
It's a
wine.
good taste.
My next thing will be to get rid of these fucking things. That will be my next thing. I've just got my prescription for Champix. I am determined to get rid of these fucking things.
That's a good call.
But yeah, no. When I can get rid of them, then that will be all of my vices gone because I don't take any form of recreational drugs. I don't judge those who do, but I personally don't. I don't drink alcohol, never to excess anyway. And yeah, basically give that up, and hopefully, my health gets even better again.
To address a comment, Safa,
definitely
I
make a
think we
difference.
should.
So
Safa's
say again.
asking, should we have a
Starbucks
fizzy
should
drink
get a
tax?
fizzy drink tax. Yeah.
You know what? I think we should. I think
it's the healthy
anything with
sugar.
empty calories should be taxed, and that money should go into the health system.
I view it the
it's
same.
healthy.
I view it the same way that I viewed the carbon tax. When the carbon tax was first introduced, it was the money from that was actually being pumped into researchers into renewable energies and helping us combat climate change. So if there's a sugar tax, fine, provided that money goes to where it needs to go.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean,
Ooh, here's an interesting fact.
Did
you? Sorry.
Go ahead, Lee.
That you can actually get high from drinking enough coffee. If you drink enough coffee, like 5 or 6 cups of it a day, you can easily feel high off of it. Like a sense of being.
I get panic attacks from too much coffee.
Yeah. Some people
trigger
drink
me.
way more coffee than that. I did note once I was driving from Sydney to Melbourne with my girlfriend of the time, and I think I had something like really high caffeine, like Jolt Cola, which was still around.
Jolt Cola was
which
so
is like
good.
twice as much caffeine as Coke, for instance. And so driving out of Sydney, in the first hour, I'd chugged like a litre of Jolt Cola, and I'd had a handful of No-Dose. I don't even know. And each No-Dose tablet was like a cup of coffee. And I'd necked. Oh, there you go. No-Dose, there we go. Yeah. Each tablet's a cup of coffee.
80 milligrams. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a
I'd
strong
necked
cup of coffee.
at least half a dozen, if not more of them. And driving, because I had to drive Sydney to Melbourne the whole way, and I've got to stay away. And coming to like, I don't know, an hour or so out of Sydney, I thought, here's a petrol station, might have a comfort stop. And I just noticed my girlfriend kind of looking at me with horror. And my brain was just going, what's your problem? And then I became conscious of how much I was talking. And I was talking at 100 miles an hour, and my brain wasn't even engaged. Like I'm going blah, 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 and pulling over, and I looked at her, and she's like shrinking away with horror, like what the fuck? And I'm going, what? And my brain's going, what's wrong with her? And then my brain worked out what my mouth was doing, and went, oh, that's pretty fucking crazy.
My anxiety can do that. A
That's
bit,
one of
actually.
my ecstasy stories right then and there. Just, but
but
my
ecstasy's a bit calmer. It's like, I want to talk and tell you how much I love you and how good this carpet feels and beautiful.
So back in the day, and I'm talking in the 90s, when Jolt Cola was a thing and energy drinks were not. I used to drink liters of Jolt Cola, and one particular weekend, I signed up to do a 24-hour movie marathon at theater, the Valhalla. Theater.
Oh yes,
I don't even know if it's still around anymore.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I bought a whole bunch of bottles of Jolt Cola to go there for the 24 hours.
Yeah.
But I also accidentally stayed up the night before as well, drinking lots of Jolt Cola. So what ended up happening was that I was awake for 48 hours and I had drunk 11 liters of Jolt Cola.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And
wow.
if it wasn't for the fact that I was like 19, 20 years old, I would have died.
Yeah.
Like,
even at 19, that's like worthy of some hallucinations and whatnot.
yeah, it was. Yeah.
When I
Charlie,
first got
the
out of
big
uni,
oof. Yeah.
when I first got out of uni, my first job was working for Telstra in their DAC ULL department, and it was start at like ridiculous early in the morning, and traveling there from where I live was a 2-hour train ride as well. So, sleep was a very precious commodity. And there was a little convenience store at the train station that I used to get on the train at. And this particular day, I'd bought a can of V at that train station. It was like a 500ml can of V. I'd sculled that before the train arrived, but still managed to fall asleep on the train on the way to work. When I got off the train at work, I still felt really tired and gluggy. Completely forgot about the V that I'd already had. Went to the convenience store that was close to work, and they had that special on the 2 750ml cans of V for $5. So I bought both of them, and then fucking mainlined them while I was at work. And it was about midday, and I've just got the shakes, and I'm feeling uneasy, and I'm unable to concentrate, and just. That didn't sound good. You're right, Angry?
Just leave that anywhere. It's fine.
Good thing no one saw that, Angry.
All good.
Yeah, no, it was just like, and I'm kind of sitting there going, why am I feeling like this? And then
he'd fucked up.
Then I remembered how much V I had to drink on that one day, and I was just like, that's why I feel this way. Oh boy, that was.
I am like that after, like, if I have one of those, I start to get on edge. 2 of those, forget functioning. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's what I'm like with any energy drink, especially that Coke energy drink. I just couldn't stand it.
I get arrhythmias too. I get arrhythmia, so fuck,
Yeah, you don't want
I
to
fucks with my heart.
really
Not good.
enjoy the taste of Red Bull, and it's so dangerous because
Red Bull gives you wings,
I could
it kills you. You fly up into
drink
wherever we go when we're
I
fucked.
could easily drink a few cans of it in one sitting, and it do not do that.
It's the same. Same with me with V. I absolutely love the taste. That's why I was able to slam it down, because I absolutely love the taste.
Yeah, I can tolerate V and Red Bull. I've got down there some of the Monster Zero Ultras. They're the only energy drinks I actively like. It helps they're no sugar as well, but just taste wise, they're the only ones I actively like. I don't have them. I was looking up the Monster BFC, there's a video I made when I was in America, because I found the big fucking can is basically a liter. I think it's like 900 mils, 32 ounces. And there's a video I made where for breakfast I'm having a chocolate dipped Twinkie and a BFC. And that was my breakfast after staying up all night playing video games. And so then I'll make it, in Corey's Mr. Safety's place, I'll make a video running around his lounge room, jumping on the lounge and shrieking because I'm on a sugar and caffeine high.
All I've got running through my mind right now is Apu doing the hummingbird thing in that Simpsons episode.
Yes.
No.
Americans basically have dessert for breakfast.
Yeah. I couldn't believe it when I found a chocolate dipped Twinkie. It was great.
I had one of the most terrifically stupid things ever said in front of me when I was in America. Was a gentleman that was in front of me at the line at McDonald's, and I'll never forget it. And this is the God's honest truth what he said. He ordered a supersized quarter pounder meal, which is like 2 liters of soft drink and a gigantic fuck off chips along with your burger.
Yeah.
An extra burger, 20 nuggets for himself. And the lady turned around to him and said, "And would you like Coke with that?" He said, "Oh no, I need a Diet Coke with that when I'm trying to watch my weight."
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that Simpsons episode where Lisa was trying to go vegan, and then there was like Paul McCartney and Apu on that episode, and Apu's like, "Oh, it was a fifth Beatle," and then Paul's like, "Sure, Apu."
That was good. Yeah. That's the other thing I did in America when we're doing a road trip. There was stopping at a petrol station, and there was one of those self-serve soda fountains, And there was a 32-ounce cup. It's basically a liter. And I'm just getting one of these. And I got in the car and Corey's going, "Are you that thirsty?" I went, "No, but I literally can't do this in Australia, so I'm doing it now."
Fair enough.
Carrying it like this, you know.
Yeah, no, it was the same time that I ordered myself a pizza when I was in New York. I did not know about the size of a New York pizza. So, I'm starving, and I thought, yeah, no, I could eat a pizza by myself, no worries at all. So I called up this delivery place and ordered a barbecue meat lover style pizza, and they were like, "Oh, how many slices?" And I went, "Slices? I want the whole fucking thing." And they were like, "No worries." And this guy
and out she comes.
Yeah, this guy arrives with a box that barely fit through the fucking hotel door, and I was like, "Shit."
Jesus.
Yeah, two pieces of that. The rest of it stayed in the fridge and fed me for the rest of the week for lunches.
Yeah, but aren't they like really thin, and you meant to like fold them and shit?
The one that I had was not thin because I had ordered it differently, but they do come stock with a thinner crust than what most Australian pizzas do. Yeah. But they were like, "Do you want because they said, do you want it thin?" And my mind was going to like the Pizza Hut thin and crispy type pizza bases, which I didn't like. And I was like, no, the thick crust, thinking Pizza Hut style pizzas. And it was. But yeah, no, you could fold them like in half and in half again, and then. Whoa, that was a.
Well, that was wild. Whatever that was. Right? It was the alarm. It's time to go to bed. That's what that was.
Oh.
Hey, what are you doing? It wasn't actually me. I just made that up. But I'm going to go to bed.
Oh, anybody you think that you've got a life outside of YouTube, Angry?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You're here for our entertainment.
Yeah, but besides my, although you won't be able to see it, it'll just flare out. Besides my gin, there's a little handwritten note from the distillery of "Enjoy your Xmas gins, Andrew," from M at Tiny Bear. I'm collecting handwritten notes from Australian distilleries.
Fair enough.
That's nice.
Just like, I don't ask for them. I just like order something, and they put a little handwritten note in them. I'm keeping them. I think I've got 5 or 6 of them now.
That's actually kind of lovely.
Nice.
Yeah.
It is nice. They put little notes in them.
Yeah. All right. Good night, everybody.
I'm willing to hang around in the stream afterwards after Angry stops streaming if you guys are.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'll stick around a bit. I don't have to be anywhere tomorrow.
Yourself, boys and girls. I've got work.
Good night.